Welcome, welcome. The hot topic in this season, which is the Scorpio season, is intimacy, relationships, and love. Please tell me anyone who is indifferent towards these subjects at this time. It's been really wild, my people. Also, as I am preparing to run another very powerful experience, Fire of Love Mystery Immersion. As always, I am invited into my new initiations. So what's been happening for me is that I realize what a power it is to offer your life to love. What a power it is to claim the kind of love you want, the kind of dimension you want to occupy, the kind of expanse you want to create in your life. When we claim that we are here for love, wow. I could not even have imagined that this is what it means. So as I'm preparing to facilitate Fire of Love, I am offered probably one of the greatest initiations of my life, in which I discover how my whole being is ready to create space for this grandiose love. And in that, I am shown the places where I've been abandoning myself, where I have been getting out of my own center, creating imbalance in myself, and therefore creating imbalance externally and attracting imbalance externally. And I feel such a sense of rawness and freshness in myself as I speak about this and as I'm going through it at this phase in my life. There's such a excitement also. It feels like something I've been praying for is actually being created right now as we speak. And these initiations are taking me into the depth of myself. And this is exactly what is required for the new world relationships, that we liberate ourselves from the stories, from the stuff where we believe that as women we need men to be successful, that man being in a relationship or not is in any way impacting our worth. Releasing the romantic stories, releasing all the stuff that we are fed from every direction. All the songs, all the movies, all the stuff that we absorb from childhood about what is this perfect love, all of that has to be shed. And all of that is shedding out of me right now. And all of this is happening also in my clients. I see this incredible purification that's taking place. And also, I am so honored and so grateful that I can provide a safe space for that, for you, for my people, to explore yourself in depth. So my upcoming Fire of Love Mystery Immersion is that place where there will be such a safety for you to explore exactly why this grandiose love that you are made for is not quite manifesting in your life. And when you have this clarity, you feel so free. You feel so free because it's like most of the work is already done. And then we will also be working on those rituals that are purifying us from old karmas, from all those old contracts that keep us in those repetitive stuck loops of being small and therefore attracting smallness. And then making those shifts inside that actually really attune us to the highest love. So that's Fire of Love. The preparation work begins this Thursday already, and then we are journeying together in November, and it will be incredible. I feel in such a place of, oh, in my heart, I've never felt deeper in my heart. And I know, I know it's because of fire of love. I know it's because of what I'm meant to hold for you and what kind of relationships we are actually claiming, what actually is possible for us, and not in some kind of distant future, but now. So fire of love is about that, entering into new world love, into new world relationships. So if you're interested in fire of love, please respond fire on this video, and then you'll receive the information. And Thursday, like, join before Thursday. That's my recommendation, because then you get to weave with the group as we are preparing. So I want to go into the questions that I received. There has been a lot, so I started this Q&A in my stories, and then as I was receiving the questions, I just really felt you. I just really felt what an important theme it is, and how much confusion is created when we don't quite find ourselves in the right place inside of us, and therefore in those relationships that we attract. And it has a potential for such a liberation, So that's why I felt like I'll go live and actually address the questions. So there is actually a way. Okay, there's a cool way. I've never done this before, but there's a way that I can actually pull up the questions over here. So let's see how many I can go through, and also welcome to engage with me as you're here live with me. Then we can also have a conversation that can be really fun. So, question from stories: how to let go of who I thought was my king, and here comes the bell for you, and make space for the man made for me. So often, based on the conditioning that we grow up with and what we see modeled in the world, and really we don't see many advanced relationships. Based on that, we often tend to fall in love not with the person, but with our fantasy. And then we don't even let ourselves discover the person. We don't even let ourselves assess if this is correct or not. But then, because you want your king so much that you are like, okay, can it be him? God, Deva, Devi, can it be him, please? And then you just zoom into that without really nurturing yourself first. And then you may end up in a relationship that is not meant to be. Because we attract various people, and there's never mistake in that. But if we have certain wounding that we have to address, and we all do, we will often attract people who help us heal that wounding. And so, because you're saying he is not your king, but you've imagined that he was, you have to see that you were not in love with this particular person. You were in love with your projection, with your hope, and you didn't get to actually understand who is in front of you. And the best thing you can do here is to understand yourself through this situation, and understand who are you really, and what it is showing you about yourself, and why do you rush to call someone your king. Why did you not give it enough time? Why did you not prioritize getting to know the person, being in the friendship with them? You know, we rush into intimacy so quick. It's so common to have sex very early on, but actually the first thing we should focus on is on creating friendship with a person and getting to know them, giving them the chance to reveal who they are, giving ourselves the chance to feel how do we feel in their presence. This is happening naturally from a healed place. But if we jump from unhealed place, we will always throw our projections everywhere, and we will stay hooked in our dreams and our standards and all this stuff without actually genuinely connecting heart to heart. So Learn from this. Understand that this experience is preparing you for the greatest love of your life. Be grateful for it. Bless this person, bless this relationship, and bring your energy back to yourself. Okay, someone asked, what's the reason you think you haven't found your one yet? The reason is that I found my one, and my one is my eternal beloved. And what is happening right now is that all parts of me are merging with the eternal beloved. Because there are still some parts of me that are unhealed, and this is normal for us. We can be very evolved in consciousness, and at the same time the personality has a lot of vulnerability. And so right now what is happening is that I am being shown through my various experiences different parts of my personality that need to be elevated, and I go into it willingly. It's so excruciatingly painful at times, but I am so grateful because I know this is what's happening, and I know that the kind of relationship I'm actually made for in this life, it has to come, like I have to enter into it from the place of such purity that I'm being worked on right now. I'm being worked on, and I lean into it, and I get out of my denial, and I get out of my defensiveness, and I get out of all my patterns of jumping too fast and relating to a fairy tale projection, and all of these things, all of these stuff that I've been fed ever since little child. So that's what's happening, and so it's all happening. It's not that I haven't found him, I found him. That's why it's happening. And then the way it will manifest, it will be a perfect reflection of me. And when, it really doesn't matter, because the journey is what is so sacred. I waved at someone. There is no luck, exactly. How do I connect back to my essence after denying it out of fear, feeling so lost right now? So that's probably an outcome of you in getting involved in some relationships and situations which were like where you were betraying yourself, right? And then the more we betray ourselves, the more we rush into intimacy, the more we rush out of ourselves, the more we expect the other person to come and save us, the other person to come and help us arrange our lives and help us become successful and help us find meaning in life. The more we do that, the further away we go out of ourselves. So I understand the feeling of being lost. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. Sometimes we need to get really shaken. We need to be really like hitting kind of a rock bottom. But you decide what is rock bottom for you. Because for some people, they really need to suffer for that. But you can decide, this is my rock bottom. Okay, I'm here. I lost myself deeply enough for me to now really prioritize my heart, to now really start to listen to my body, to now really coming back to my femininity, to now really going like, but who is this woman? But who is she really? But how do I treat her really? But do I listen to her? But what do I feel right now? And why do I keep abandoning myself? And why do I not keep listen to myself? Even because what hurts us the most is when we recognize that we heard, we saw all the things all along. We saw the places where you did not trust. You saw where it was not fully aligned. You saw all of that, but you chose to ignore it. You chose it. And that's what, when we recognize that we did it to ourselves, that's what hurts so much. Don't fall into that. It's perfect. All of that is unfolding perfectly. It's exactly the medicine, and so precisely exactly the medicine that you needed. You received it absorb it, take it in, accept that you are loved. That's why it's happening. You are so loved. That's why all these experiences are coming to you. They're coming because you need to be shaken out of this hole you've dug yourself into. So this is happening. You are loved. Accept that. Understand the gift of it and move on. So you guys are saying here, I need to find strength just to be strong in myself. Things went right for me. Since those look downstairs, I feel affected me. Yes, find strength in yourself. But you know, this strength is often in actually letting go, in letting go of control, in letting go of how you thought it should be, how you thought your life should unfold. Let it go and see that you can soften into what is. You can soften just into this experience. Yes, this is how life is. You didn't make any mistakes. There's nothing to regret. Life is non-linear. Life is curious. Life is peculiar. And you get to just be. This is how it's moving. This is how I am moved right now. This is how I am loved right now. This is my becoming right now. And bring presence moment by moment into your life. Meet every experience with your consciousness, with your presence. Right now, inside of Sanctuary, my modern Tantra practice-based community, we have the focus on clarity. And there's a lot of work, a lot of practices that I'm sending weekly practices to them on Telegram, and they are finding this clarity, meeting life from the place of I am. No matter what's going on, coming to I am, meeting it with I am, and then you see that it's all happening, it's all unraveling, it's all happening. You don't there's nothing for you to micromanage or orchestrate. It's all taking place, but you have to rest in your true place. When you're not in a relationship at the moment, would you still have sex with someone while you're waiting for the one? I would not. I would not. That's an important thing for me, because sex is a very deep exchange, a very deep opening that happens there. So I prefer not to do that, because I know what happens to me, how much I fall in love, and how much I give, and how much of I get invested when I open my body. And so when I know that it's not it's not it's not, I don't feel honored in every level of me, then I wouldn't do that. There are practices of self-pleasure, for example, yeah, that are, and this kind of sense of like contentment in yourself, because oftentimes we go into this sense that, oh, well, I need someone's touch, I need someone's attention, I need the sexual, but often this comes from a place of addiction, actually. It comes from a place of addiction to the stimulation from someone else, sexual addiction, romantic addiction, addiction to being in a relationship. And this is a way of self-abandonment. And we have to find a way to be so content in ourselves, because, you know, if you are not content in yourself, you will attract someone who is not content in themselves. From your imbalance, you will attract someone in their imbalance. Is that what you want? If not, find the contentment in yourself. How to open my heart again after deep feeling of betrayal from men recently. This is very tender. I'm really sorry that you had to go through this, and yeah, it can really damage your self-worth when this happens, because if you really trust someone so deeply and you just want to open and let go in their embrace, but then they betray you, then it may really create a deep wounding. So I'm so sorry that you had to go through this. And the only way to open your heart again is to recognize that it was a gift. You know, like, you have to sit with your pain. You have to find yourself in the safety. And again, that's why I'm so proud and happy that I can provide those spaces for you when we are together. You forget the whole world for 6 days, 7 days. You focus entirely on your heart. And, you know, if you're 24/7 living in that environment, practices from the morning till evening, you are just really focused on you, on what truly matters. The transformation that happens is like in 1 week, it's like comparable to like years and years and decades of other people's lives. So you need that. You need to create that for yourself, because you need to find courage. Without courage, we just see those people who get more and more bitter with time. They get more and more bitter and they say, oh, I don't want to trust men. I don't want to open my heart. I don't want to open to that because it's unsafe. I've been hurt. I've been burned. I don't want to do that. I'll just stay there. And then, you know, we have this archetype of a woman with 30 cats or something like that. Not worth. It's not, it doesn't give justice to this radiant aliveness that is actually moving through our veins. That's what we came here for this radiant aliveness, for this orgasmic totality. So what you have to do is find the courage to meet what is going on in your heart and find how it served you, how this betrayal served you, because perhaps you were shaken and you were shown that you were grasping so hard. So the person had nothing left to do but like try to find their space from their own unhealed place, obviously. It's not to justify them, but there was something that you were creating that for yourself to experience, to create, to activate deeper healing for yourself. And sometimes we do those really, really painful things, the things that you are probably you were most scared of that. Probably that was the thing that you were like, oh my gosh, just not that, anything but that. And then you had to experience it to see that you still survive. When it happened to me, when I was betrayed, it was my worst fear. And I didn't even know for 2 years when it happened. And then when I found out, for 6 months, my life turned into hell. And his life also turned into hell. I had all sorts of scenarios in my head. I wanted to go kill that woman. I wanted to kill everyone. I wanted to kill myself. I just, like, it was such a hell. And the only thing that saved me there was like really this place of understanding the gift of that situation, understanding how I created it, and understanding how it liberated me from that incredible fear that if someone's behavior can impact who I am in my core, it cannot. People are people. People will forever do their people thing. Who you are does not change. Nothing can change that. You have to find this peace, this truth, this divinity in yourself. That's the only way to become whole. Other people will never give us what we are looking for. Other people will never make us whole. We have to find this wholeness inside. And we are given all these initiations to see that whatever happens, you are cornered. You are cornered by all these situations to find the only one who will always be with you, who has always been with you, who will never go. And that is you. And that is the eternal beloved. And that is God. Why would a man do sexting at the early stage? I don't like it. I don't know what to think about it and why it's so important for men. Is it all the men? Why do they do that? Well, this is quite interesting to explore, because I don't really want to go into why men do that. They have their reasons, they have their addictions, they have their distortions, they have their imbalances. But what is interesting is why it's happening to you. And why do you have such a strong reaction to that? And why it's such a recurring thing with you? Yeah, because for some women, they never experience, maybe they would like to, but they just don't experience that. So why? And I sense that when I read your message, your comment here, is that there is a shame underneath that somehow it feels like it's not valuing you, it's not giving you credit for the woman you are. That's like, I'm not just a pretty body, I'm not just a pretty face, I'm not just a sex object. And this is exactly what you are invited to work on, to see that, yeah, you are a sexual woman, and your sexuality is a place of aliveness for all of humanity. Can you accept that you are loved for that? And this is a big reason why someone wants to be close to you. When you can accept that, you have healed your shame. If you cannot accept that, there is some work to do. How to accept your own mistakes in relationships, like victim's mentality. Well, yeah, that's a big one. It may be very painful, like to see, like, oh my gosh, I've done that. I've created that. I've acted out of wounds, and that's why I've created the situations. So I know it may be very painful, and it's just about loving yourself, loving what is. It's just about going like that. That's where I'm at this stage of my evolution. Even though I feel like I made a mistake, I profoundly love and accept myself. When you can say that to yourself, and I recommend doing something like that in the mirror, perhaps even first thing in the morning, go to the mirror. Do you do that? Sometimes people, just in the morning, they grab their phone or something. Don't touch your phone. Go to the mirror. Go to the mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and speak to yourself. And speak to yourself of how much you love yourself, and how what you see is beauty, and how no matter where you're at in your development, in your path, you profoundly love and accept that. You profoundly love and accept yourself. Without that, it's really hard to live. And at the same time, most people live without that. And then they walk through life and they don't understand why they don't attract love. But if you don't have love within you, you will be mirrored. These are the places where you don't have love within you. But if you walk in this place of, I love my heart, I love my body, I love who I am. Yes, I'm not perfect. Personality, my loves, will never be perfect. It's actually messed up. We are messed up on a personal level. All of us. Even the most people that you admire the most, take everyone off of pedestals. Everyone is messed up. And when you accept this messed upness, you become free. Because it's not that you have to find this perfection and then you're free. No, you are free now. You are free right now. And yes, there is all this personal mess. And yes, every day you get to become a little bit better. And one day you will look back and you will go like, wow, I've come a long way. And that's the human journey. It doesn't take away your worth. It doesn't make you less lovable. It doesn't make you less important. It's simply another thing to love. Why is it so difficult for us to be more honest and transparent in the expression of sexuality? I'm a very sexual person, my wife is not. How can that valley be bridged? Usually because of trauma. So she may have had certain trauma in her life, certain wounds, and sexual trauma is much more common than it seems, because even things like being shamed for wanting to explore yourself at the age of 3 or 4, which you may not even remember, and most people do get shamed around that time, it may create a very, very strong disconnection. And then some people have, they were molested and raped, and their boundaries were crossed, and it's very, very common. So usually that's somewhere there, and that needs, plus there's also maybe, Catholic upbringing, or parents who were very ashamed, and these are the reasons. But how it can be bridged is through love, through meeting it with love, through making it a priority for yourselves. Because through sexuality, through really, like, when there is deep love and you are in a long-term relationship, so I assume there is deep love, sexuality will empower this love like nothing else. You opening to each other through this profound mystical sexual merging, it will enliven everything. It will empower you. It will make you more successful. It will make you more vibrant. It will make you more trustworthy, actually. It will empower your masculine essence and her feminine essence. So it will help you become who you're meant to be. But you need to dedicate your attention to it. So I have courses on that. I have my upcoming Fire of Love Immersion. It's perfect for that. Also, when you're joining Fire of Love, you're also getting those bonuses. So Limitless Love, my online course, is great for this. Come My Love course for women, this is beautiful. And also Pleasure as Prayer course. These are all excellent support that you can receive when you work with me. Okay, let's go next. I want to keep it on the relationship topic because this is so vibrant right now. Hey. I'm a woman. Okay, let's try this. Okay. I'm a woman that heal after a breakup, important for me. I've been single for 4 years and I haven't been able to connect with men like I would like to. Okay. So I think we addressed a bit of that, yeah? Like the whole, like, accepting yourself, loving yourself, like going into why is it so hard to heal after breakup? I mean, I broke up after a 4-year relationship in January, and it takes time to heal. Like, don't rush into new relationships. That's my recommendation. Because it's quite amazing to share a life with someone and to see how much our patterns just play out, the place from which we got together, the place from which we decided to live together, the place of how we interacted every day, what kind of aspects of you were coming forward, what kind of aspects of him were entering into this enmeshment. And oh, it's so fascinating. So look at all of that, sit with all of that, understand where you've abandoned yourself, understand where you've betrayed yourself, heal that. Yeah, but get specific, because sometimes people just let it kind of, they just think it will just heal with time, and maybe, but you need to get focused. You need to zoom onto the things that are important for you. Okay, Carolina says, it took me 2 years to heal from my previous relationship, and once I was ready, I met an amazing man, but before that I didn't touch a man. So it may take a while. And you're saying you've been 4 years single, but have you been specific? Have you been focusing really on letting go, on really actively forgiving, actively accepting, actively loving what took place in your life? So I really recommend that. And again, find yourself in a safe space where you can do that, because when you're just rushing through your life and doing your normal life, it's impossible. You need to create a safe container for yourself to do that. And I'm super blessed and privileged and so happy to provide that for you, because I know how much these type of containers have saved me. Like really dedicated time in a facilitation style that actually really honors your deepest truth. Okay, okay, she said, I already did that. I've been focusing on myself, allowing myself profound. Now I want to connect deep with men. Well, I'll be honest with you. The fact that the man is not there, it means that you haven't gone deep enough. It means that there is something in your energy that is bouncing out, that is keeping the guard around yourself, that is not allowing the man to come in, or the kind of high caliber man that you want. So there is something in you that is protecting. And so it's like, this is also something to dissolve, a layer to hold, a layer to love yourself in, a layer to surrender, a layer to open to the divine. And sometimes people say, like, I'm not attracting relationships, but actually you have quite high standard of a relationship that you want to attract, possibly. And that doesn't quite, it's like you need to be a different person to meet that as well. So sometimes women are attached to, like, they make a list of what they would like to see in their partner, but actually the main reason to create such lists is not to get attached to it, because then it becomes a mental masturbation and mental, just like, check, drop that. The only reason to ever create a list is to understand if you are a match for it, if you are the kind of woman who actually is really aligned with the kind of man you are calling. Okay, so let's how do I remove my shame from being judged sexually and raped? I'm so sorry to hear that this happened to you. I'm very sorry. There are various ways to work with that. And it just really depends on how much work you've done already and what you have done. Because there is space for trauma therapy. There is space for falling in love with your sexuality. There is space in connecting to your pleasure and really softening into the pleasure and finding sacredness and prayer in the pleasure. I have this online course called Pleasure is Prayer. I recommend it. It's a small course, but I'm guiding you through meditation practices that focus you on your pleasure. And this will help. And of course, like, there needs to be this forgiveness of yourself. Because oftentimes what I see, that why people don't heal from rape is because there is guilt for the pleasure that you felt. And that's very challenging to even comprehend, like, how can it be? And yet this is where I've seen the greatest shifts in my clients, where we could go into that level where there was something that you enjoyed. For me, when I was assaulted with a gun and like all of that, which was horrible, but what really lifted for me that weight was to actually recognize that there was a pleasure for me in this surrender that took place. In this place when this man jumped and grabbed me, there was a moment where I felt like, it was a millisecond, but there was something that I knew I'm no longer in control. And there was such a relief in that and such a pleasure in that. And that was really powerful to recognize, because it's not obvious. How to get over the fear that it's not the right relationship to invest in. I've been inviting into relationship by men, and I find myself not wanting to commit to them and say yes. Very good. If you don't feel it, don't do that. Don't rush this. Let months pass before you commit. We sometimes, of course, there can be those exceptions. I've seen them. Then people just meet and they're really like, whoa, very quickly they really understand that they're ready, they are for each other. But it's rather a big exception. Better take the time. It's good you question. It would be much worse if you would be like, just like, oh yeah, that's the one. Oh yeah, that's the one. This is harder on the nervous system. But taking time, you don't even need to worry that it's doubt or fear. Just take time, Be the queen that you are. Enjoy the time to explore. Enjoy your own company more than anything. Meet this person when it fits you, and then explore what happens, give it time. And you don't need to invest into it, actually. Just meet when it flows for you, meet when it feels right for you. Let the person express themselves, but no need to rush. All these concepts are lovely, but how do you know if it works practically if you haven't created the relationship yourself? Well, my love, I've been in relationships in my life. So it's like if you make a soup, if you know how to make a soup once in your life, then if you're not making the same soup for the last year, you still know how to make a soup. So yeah, that really works for me. I've created incredible relationships in my life, and I've also supported my clients who are dating or who have been in relationships for 20, 30 years. Somehow this is a very common experience for me. I attract clients who've been in really, really long-term relationships, and I've supported them in entering into a different level of love. And there was a relationship that was on the verge of a breakup when, like, after like 26, 27 years of being together, they were actually on the verge of breakup. And then I started to work just with the woman. I started to go very deep into her, and the relationship changed and became a masterpiece. And it's just really quite amazing. And we're still working together, and this relationship is still expanding and growing into new depths. So I know it works practically. I did 10 years by myself after divorce, and then another 5 years now to try and better myself. And now that I think maybe I'm better, I met few girls, but they are damaged and have relationships and can't have relationships, and I'm hurt. Well, I would recommend to not analyze others so much and really focus on yourself. Because if you say that you attract people who are, you say, damaged, it just shows the damage in you. Because we always attract our reciprocal. It's always this perfection that we are experiencing. So whenever we attract someone in the imbalance, it's because of our own imbalance. And accept the lessons, accept the learnings. Also, don't rush. I'm saying this to women, I'm also saying this to men. Don't rush. Why the rush? We are rushing only because we feel so not content with where we are at currently. And then it feels like when I'll be in a relationship, I'll be content and I'll be happy. But it's not gonna happen. This is not the function of a relationship. You can be in an illusion of that, and then you will start hating each other and constantly try to push each other to become better and tell each other what's not going well and what's wrong with you. But this is not a healthy relationship. This is a relationship created from wounds. So heal yourself, enter into healthy relationships. And the way healthy relationships are created is when we give it time, when we give it space, when we explore, when we understand ourselves in the presence of this other person. And yeah, it's good that you've taken time to heal. It's good that the divorce has shaken you up. And yeah, don't rush. Go fall in love. Fall in love with love. Fall in love with the divine. And it all will be beautiful. How to go from people pleasing to reclaim our power in intimate relationship and ask for what we want and deserve. To understand where the people pleasing is coming from. People pleasing is usually coming from the need for validation, where you don't feel good enough, you don't feel worthy in yourself. And that's why you want to do everything the other person is doing. And then even you forget, what did you like? You know, what do you like? I like what you like. What should I wear? I'm gonna wear what you're gonna tell me to wear. You know, you ask other people for their opinion, for their advice. What to wear, what to eat, what do you like? I like the same thing. Ah, yeah, I like the same thing. So it's like this kind of merging. Like you start to merge and try to become identical with the other person, and that lose yourself. And actually, that's exactly what makes you not so attractive. And you need to understand that what makes you attractive is your uniqueness. And the more you dare to be yourself, your unique self, even your edgy self, even the self that is like not very nice sometimes, but it's you, it's true to you, to how you feel in this moment, this is what makes you attractive. And this is what also attracts more powerful people towards you, because this is a sign of power when you don't lose yourself according to the situations. But if you see that you attract people who are not very powerful, who are not very stable in themselves, who tend to doubt, who tend to wobble, it's just a reflection of you. So bring your power back to you and you will see that you start to attract different type of people. There, hello my love. Due to my need to take my relationships sexuality, sorry, sexuality, what is this? Sophia? To take my relationship sexuality, I have been acting as the yang force, which we found out throws out polarity of. So how can I guide us in a direction without being yang? Why do you need to guide you in a direction? I missed that point. Why do you need to guide it? Don't guide anything. Just be with you. Be in the contentment with yourself. Find a peace in you. Find your relaxation in you. And let the relationship just happen. This is actually a characteristic of a healthy relationship, which we don't see many. And these kind of relationships is where you have a relationship, first of all, with your own self. And your partner has a relationship with their own self. And then you also have a relationship with your desire, with your desired kind of, where do you want to go in this relationship? So that's also a relationship. Your partner also has visions for how he would like the relationship to be. And then you have a relationship between each other. So, it's like there's quite a lot of things that are happening. And it's actually quite nice to give them all space and not be so attached to how this relationship and how this dynamic is. We give it too much importance. We focus too much on small things that are not as important. Be your own person. Find your true place. Find God within you. Live a spiritual life of truth, of love, and let the other person have their life. And you will have those crossing points, but you don't need to be so preoccupied of how it is, how he is, how you are. Invest in it, but don't try to make it work. Because whenever we try to make something work, we are already efforting and pressuring love. And love cannot be pressured. Love can only be given space. So don't try to guide the relationship. Accept yourself, accept him, accept your love, delight in this love. This is the best thing you can do for your relationship. And when you accept yourself also, and you guide yourself more into your heart, you will naturally be more feminine. You will naturally be more at peace with yourself. You will naturally relax and let go of this pressure of trying to take the relationship somewhere. And that will put you naturally into your true place and will allow him to express himself in his masculine. The most important relationship is the one we have with ourselves. Exactly. Do you think humans are really capable of successful poly relationships? Well, it's quite a topic, those poly relationships, because what we need to understand about polyamorous relationships is where is the desire for this polyamorous relationship coming from. Because oftentimes it's also coming from a place of being kind of bored with yourself and then wanting to, sorry, I just feel like putting some lipstick. So, oftentimes it comes from a place of kind of looking for entertainment, looking for exit, actually, to exit the discomfort. And then there's like, oh, let's involve other people. Oh, I'm attracted to this person, I'm attracted to that person. Fine, like you can have that if that's consensual, but at the same time, but why? Oftentimes I find that this whole polyamorous dynamic is very time consuming. Very. I've been in some polyamorous relationships. I don't know if I would ever repeat them, who knows. But it was extremely time consuming because everyone had their processes and you had to be involved with all these processes. And it was like, whoa. And then I have my own process also. I'm like, whoa, oh my gosh. So I understand, there is a kind of thirst for freedom, for experiences, for exploration, and so on and so forth. But at the same time, you need to be clear on what is actually important in your life. And if you have a strong purpose and a strong sense of your dharma, you have to invest into that. And oftentimes, these polyamorous dynamics, they just act as a distraction because your purpose needs a certain environment. You need to cultivate a certain environment to blossom into your highest service, into who you came here to be. And most of the stuff is just a distraction. Wow. You're welcome, dear. So I had some more over here. For example, how to know if a man will commit eventually. Do you just ask? You don't know. That's why it's better not to rush and not to get too invested too soon. But hold yourself. Hold yourself in the divine embrace. Hold yourself in the embrace of the eternal beloved. Find your place there. Settle into it. That's the greatest work. And then let the man express himself. Don't feel the pressure of, someone also asked like, oh, my clock is ticking, I need to become a mother soon as my time is running out. Nonsense. This is all manipulation. It's all made to manipulate women to take us out of our true place. Don't buy into this. Nothing is ticking. I have friends who've given birth good into their 40s, even late 40s, and then if it's not happening, it's not happening. Just surrender, offer it up. It's okay. Even if you have this strong pull, some women have that, some women don't have that. This strong physiological pull, I need to be a mother and my time is precious and da 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 da. Well, relax the grip a bit. Because when there is so much agitation and so much kind of panic, you're pushing it away with this panic, like, oh, I have to. Be wise with your choices, because I also have seen women who enter into relationships with men who say, I'm not gonna have children. And they're like, oh, but maybe he'll change. Well, he had a vasectomy, but maybe he'll change. He was like, no, this man doesn't want to have children. Be just honest and accept who is in front of you and don't be with him if that's really important to you, because you are detouring from your heart's desire. And then if it's meant to be or not, release the grip a bit. Release it. Surrender it. Offer it up to the divine and go like, beloved, if I'm meant to be a mother, please help me. And if not, I offer it to you. Either way, I offer it to you. Let this choice, let this experience come for the highest benefit of all. If it comes, beautiful. If it doesn't come, beautiful. I am surrendered. So, release some of that grip and you will see things are flowing much easier for you in your life. You will see there's more flow, more ease, more grace in your life. Because when we are so preoccupied with oh no, but I have to, I need to make it happen, we create a lot of tightness and grace cannot come. What's your feelings, belief on divine union with one man that's created for you? Well, created for you, this is a bit fairy tale-ish. You can create a sacred union with someone that you meet from a place of connection to yourself, from this place of embrace of the divine beloved, from this place of truth and purity in yourself. You get to meet a person who is a match for that, for the truth and purity in you. And then together you may choose to open to the love. But like if it's one person made for you, I prefer not to go there. It sounds a little bit extra. And you also get to have multiple sacred unions in your life, and they are all revealing something, and they are all important, but some may be there for just a short period of time, just to teach you something, to give you something, and then to set you free. And then there gets to be one that just stays with you for the rest of your life. It can be. But the only way how we can know that it will happen is just through this honesty with ourselves. How honest can you get with your own self in all these, like finding your shortcomings, bringing more courage into getting to the core of your wounds, and purifying those addictive behaviors, those grasping behaviors, those have to behaviors, those my standards are like this behaviors, men have to be like this, women have to be like this, all of that. Yeah, whenever it comes from this place of tightness, from this place of trying to control, you are just distancing yourself from higher forms of love. When the sacred union you choose doesn't choose you back, though, it's not a sacred union then. It's an illusion. It's just an attachment. You are just talking about, it's always mutual. Love is always mutual, and if this love is gone or it's not quite happening and the other person is not choosing you, it's just an addiction. It's not a true love. It's, there, of course, there may be, sometimes it also happens that it's just not the time. It may be the right person, but not the right time. But release the attachment that it has to be them. And if you feel like, oh no, but there is really something special, so be it. Let there be the special connection and still go about your life and still prioritize yourself and still feel yourself without them, without trying to have them to feel you. And if you are honest with yourself, if you're truthful on your path, all the right circumstances will align. I was just with my beautiful friend who had that with her partner. They were together. She was not quite ready because she was just after a breakup. Ooh, I have 1 minute 55 seconds remaining. I didn't know we had a time limit. We do, apparently. But so this beautiful relationship got formed, and then it fell apart. And they were apart for a year and a half or more. And then they came back together, and they've developed a really beautiful relationship where they both took a lot of responsibility, and now they're married. They got married this summer. So it's peculiar the way life unfolds, the way love unfolds. So beloveds, it was a 1 hour together. I really enjoyed connecting with you in this way. There's absolutely a way to heal ourselves. There's a way to heal the relationships. There's a way to attune with our supreme destiny. It's all through the portal of honesty. It's all happening through the portal of courage. It's all happening through the portal of really not denying what is, not defending ourselves from what is, but by saying yes to what is, and by loving ourselves and finding God within ourselves in the most profound way. So if you want to do it with me, I am so blessed to create those spaces for us where we can go to the infinite depth. The next thing we have is in person. It's exquisite mystery immersion happening in Portugal next month. prep work begins this Thursday, and I'd love to have you with us. So comment fire if you want to be with us. Thank you so much for being here. I will do more of these Q&As. It's really beautiful. I hope that it has served you.